Welcome to part one of a two-part video entitled Virtual Function Basics. Now, virtual functions are something that you're going to have to get into and deal with when you start working with inheritance in C++. And the best way to understand what a virtual function is and how it behaves is simply to see it in code. So that's what we're going to do in these next two videos. So for now, I want to just kind of set up the situation of why we need them. And you'll notice that I'm working in a project entitled Virtual Function. Clever name, right? So if you'll look out in your work files folder, you will see a virtual function example project, and you can open it up and run the solution file. And then you'll notice inside there's a CPP file, vfunc, cool name. And so vfunc is where I'm actually putting my code and running it. Now let's set up why we need a virtual function. Well, in writing this program for a veterinarian's office, we created a class called cat. So when folks bring their cats in, we wanted to be able to instantiate objects, populate it with state information about the cat, write it into databases and all that. Well, very simple little class here for this example. We've designated all this stuff as public. We created an integer called mAge, an integer called mWeight, a string called name, and then we created a function called inoculate. And when we call inoculate, we're going to pass in an integer. Now what we're really going to do is pass in an integer that is the cat's age. Then we're going to check that cat's age, and so we wrote a function called checkAge. If the age is greater than 3, then we will go ahead and inoculate the cat. Now I'm just doing a return here that says yes, the cat has been inoculated. In the real world, I would probably write quite a bit of code here that goes out to a database, connects, finds the cat's records and the owner's records, puts into the database that we inoculated the cat, exactly what we inoculated the cat with, all that kind of stuff. If there is a booster shot that's needed in the future, do some work with that. But we could write over onto, but for now we're just returning yes, the cat has been inoculated. If the cat's not greater than 3, if he's not 4 years old or older, he or she, then we do not want to inoculate it. It's not good, and we have to wait till the cat's a certain age. So that's what we're doing there. Now, pretty straightforward, right? Well, when we get out into our main function, we can instantiate an object C1 from the cat class, set the age to 5, set the name to Fluffy, and then if I call inoculate and pass the age, I should see whether or not we are going to inoculate Fluffy, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to compile the class, and then I am going to jump out here and let me clear this, and we are going to, now notice that I'm in the location of my executable file here. If I do a directory, you'll see virtual function executable, and so I will just simply type, let me clear the screen here, virtual function, execute it, and notice it says yes, the cat has been inoculated. If we go back and look at our logic, Fluffy was 5 years old. We passed 5 into inoculate. It took 5, passed it to check age, and it basically returned back and said yes, since he's greater than 3, the cat's been inoculated. We passed it back into X, which is the string. Then we returned X back down here, okay, and we wrote it out. All right, pretty straightforward. But here's the new problem. We just found out that Persians have to be treated a little different. So we're going to write a separate class for Persians, all right, and rather than type all that out, I am simply going to copy and paste it in so that you don't have to endure watching me type all that, okay. So I'm going to put a class here called Persian. And notice with Persians, we also have to check their ATI. Don't know what that is, but it sounds impressive. And we also have to deal with hairballs with Persians, right? They have that gorgeous, lovely long hair. It makes them cute and adorable, and you just want to pick them up and cuddle them and all that stuff. But it also creates hairballs for them, and I hope you're not eating while you're taking this course. But anyway, we'll move on. Then notice I've also got another issue with the Persians. We can't inoculate them or we can inoculate them once they're past 2 years of age, and in fact they should be inoculated as soon as possible. So Persians can get it after 2, regular cats, I'll call them regular cats, get it after 3, okay? So we need to check for that situation if they're Persian, all right? Now, we've got a little issue here, all right? Because what I'm going to do, very easy, you'll notice here, right here, that I'm inheriting from cat. And so if I create an instance of Persian right here, and I call C2, I get everything that's out there, right, between Persian and cat because I've inherited from that stuff, okay? Well, what I'm going to do, let me copy and paste some more in here for the sake of time and sanity. Notice we're going to pass the age of 4 to the Persian. We're going to pass a hairball, don't know what that's about. Don't want to know in case you're eating. Then we're going to call inoculate, check it. And so let's just run this and see what happens. Well, we go out, we grab it, we run it, and notice in both instances, yes, the cat has been inoculated. Wait a minute. What's going on here? The cat? Shouldn't we have seen right here the Persian has been inoculated? Because isn't there a check age in our Persian? And so when inoculate ran check age, shouldn't it have checked for Persian? That's a problem. How do we fix it? The answer, in case you didn't guess, was virtual functions. Now in part 2, we'll really dig into virtual functions and show you what they do. But this is the setup. This is why you need virtual functions. So join me in part 2. Welcome to Virtual Function Basics Part 2. Now in Part 1, I laid out this scenario that we kind of tripped and fell into when we were trying to call a separate instance, if you will, of a function called check age out of the Persian class. And we want to check age based on something that the inoculate function's calling out of the cat class. So how do we tell it to call the correct one? Well, you know, you can't put C2 in here, right, because it doesn't know what a C2 is. So that won't work. Well, let me show you the simple solution here. And what we're actually being bitten by here is a trick or a limitation of what you will of the compiler. It's a single pass compiler type situation. And so what's happening is when the compiler is looking at our program and turning it into machine code, it goes through and it says, okay, I got you. Here's a class. Yeah. Here's a function, inoculate. Okay, wait a minute. It's calling this particular function. Okay, there's that one. And it's actually making a list of all the functions that it can call. All right. And so then it comes down and says, okay, yeah, I see there's a class called Persian, and that's inheriting from cat. Got that. Check ATI. Boy, that's impressive. Got that. Hairball, that's a function. Then it says string check age. Already got that one. And it just keeps going. It doesn't see this one as a separate one, is what I'm getting at. All right. And so anytime it tries to do check age, it just simply reaches into this one. All right. And so let me run this again, and let's make the problem evident here so you can see it when the solution shows up. Okay. So let me clear this. So when we run virtual function, it's obviously checked both cats. All right. Both instances, even the C2 inoculate, against that check age up here in the cat class because it says yes, the cat. All right. And so even if I change this down here to say 2 years of age, all right, and run it, I will jump out here. And I will look at virtual function, and notice it still says, well, no, the cat's under 3 years of age. Now what am I going to do? Well, to fix that, I've got to give the compiler a hint that this is not the only check age, and the way I do that is to create a virtual function. Now this is very similar to marking a function as overridable in, say, VB.NET and those sorts of things. But this tells the compiler, hey, wait, look here now, there's a check age here, but it's virtual, meaning there could be others on down the chain in derived classes. And so by doing that little bit of magic, we recompile this thing and we run it, and we're going to see something very bizarre happen. Notice it now said, yes, the cat's been inoculated because the first cat was whatever age. And then it jumped down into the Persian class and said, no, the Persian has not been inoculated. This gave the compiler a hint that, hey, if somebody's calling that out of this class and they're calling inoculate from that class, then you also have another check age that you want to look at as well. Now, what a lot of people will do, since this check age is down in Persian, is they will go ahead and use the virtual keyword down there too, just to let themselves know that, hey, there's another one of these up higher in the structure, okay? And by marking them both virtual, they still work. So that is what a virtual function is. A virtual function, if you want to, and don't hold me entirely to this description, but if you're coming from another language, it's like an overridable type situation, okay? Not an overload, understand, but overridable, okay? So anyway, that is a very basic example in a two-part video of a virtual function.